Hey folks, I am Dave, the not so evil Evil Viking 13. It's time for another casual conversation where we watch a DayZ DEVBLOG together and do some live commentary. I am joined by
JERMgaming,
Joel Wilson,
Steve,
and that is our crew for tonight. You guys good to go?
Yep,
we are.
Yep. Roll the video in 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to the DayZ DevBlog for September. It's been quite an
I
exciting
want to shoot that guy in the face right now.
We've had game shows, development, all sorts of things happening. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to wrap up what some of the actions have been recently on that.
Probably going to hate a lot of those people that wear that stuff.
First, usability improvements. So we got a lot of good feedback from Gamescom, and I'm going to go through those and detail them. You're going to see a few new items. We've got item degradation due to getting shot damage, ballistic armor protection.
And those clothes are high res.
Yeah. And I'll also finish off with talking about a bit of time that we're spending on the network bubble, redoing the zombie AI from scratch, as well as moving into our new offices, which is what happens next week. So without further ado, I suppose I will crack into it. Right, it's been a while since the last DevBlog. This time I really wanted to make sure that I was getting a good clear message across and had good audio and everything else, so let's hope it goes well. What I really want to show is a large area of work that we've been doing based on usability.
Are we from
Gamescom, which was a convention in Cologne, Germany recently, where we had a lot of players. I don't know how many, but we had like 20 computers, people playing through constantly. So there was a lot of usability stuff that came up, and while we're working on the core network architecture and finishing that off, we thought it was a good chance to make it a lot easier to use. So I'm sure by now those who are familiar with the project will have seen the new inventory screen. So we did a lot of work making sure it was good before Gamescom, but we learned a lot. So one thing that people were often trying to do, it's easier if I use this one here, is a lot of this context-related feedback to tell people what they want to do.
So great.
You can see here I can actually swap that item out with one that's on the ground like that, and I can do the same thing on the weapon. So a lot of people were trying to do that, and it wasn't working, and they get real frustrated. So we think that's gone a long way. Just simple little things like this.
I love seeing the changes on the model right there in the inventory. That's amazing.
As well, you know, same thing with the buttstock. That's a 2-spot item.
Looks like your gun.
Yeah, so it
does.
It works a lot better. And the same deal works with clothing as well, which was something that people were trying to do. So they were trying to drag it on them or drag them in, you know, like directly onto the item or something like that. So let's say I didn't know how the slots work. I can just drag it onto the player there, and you can see that it's actually swapping
that's so slick.
The items in and out. So I think that's going to go a long way to helping the player explore, because when we're not providing feedback, players are getting really confused. We've started looking at things like containers, a real yellow theme going on in today's DevBlog. So at the moment, you unfortunately can't put the containers into your hands. This is something that we want to do coming up in the future, as the idea is you can actually put the container on your hands and see it open, but for the moment it's in there. So the idea is to have these different containers that you can do different stuff with. So I've put it on here.
It's in your pants,
and I can actually
that looks uncomfortable.
I can actually open that up and then get those.
Is that a protector case in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
We're going to be putting some restrictions around how
or have you got some really crazy issues going on?
But we think it's
what kind of disease did you catch from the water and Starry Sobor?
Area for a development as well.
So much swelling.
Yeah, so I think these usability improvements combined are going to go a long way.
That looks amazing.
To making things a lot more easier.
They're actually modeling the Magpul parts directly.
Go around inside.
Screw copyright.
One of the things players might know as well is
sideways run.
That we've now started to put a lot more.
Look, Joel, it's you after you kinked your neck last week.
As we've moved to this new skeleton rig, animators have been very busy trying to add lots of different animations, and we didn't have a lot of transitions from those. So you can see here with me running around, essentially like an idiot. You can see that now there's a lot more of the transitions. Now, this is based on some feedback that we had from players both at Gamescom and on the forums, was that while armor can feel a little bit, for want of a better word, janky,
Janky,
what we're aiming for is, I guess, is a balance
term.
between that. We want it to be usable, but we also want your character to feel not so much inhibited, but definitely, that they're running around in a real environment. So this is, I must stress, this is definitely not final. It's basically the animators are now just starting to get the chance to actually start playing with some of these things. And
I like the slower kneel too compared to Arma 2.
The other week, I actually brought up the point that we're looking at
crawl.
For third person
better looking crawl too.
Actually bringing the camera.
He's actually lifting his legs
in,
up,
so that the camera will be.
I'm hoping you can kneel while you're still running,
here,
though. Like
but essentially
it has a good animation.
Right
Sometimes
the shoulder
you can't move while you do certain animations.
And I think that that's going to go a long, long way in actually improving.
Oh, that looks awesome. Minus the gun clipping.
Third person will be able to be used. We certainly want to allow for people to turn third person off and that kind of thing. But I think that that having a camera-based solution will definitely be really useful in that regard. We took a lot of feedback with regard to how the reloading mechanism works. So originally in Gamescom, you actually found little boxes, or you could just find loose stacks like these rounds here, and you unpack them and you could load them. Now, currently we don't have it that you can actually load it while it's on the weapon. And I realize some people think that this is going too far in terms of realism, but we really feel like magazines actually want to be a commodity.
Yes.
And we want to have lots of commodities in the game that
make them suffer.
Because it adds a real sense of economy and encourages trading and all those sorts of things that we really want to push with the standalone. So at the moment, you actually have to take it off. But what we have been looking at doing is starting to play with this concept of putting things in your hands, and you can do that quite simply from the hotbar, or you can do what I did there, and you can actually load the ammunition directly.
Oh, it loaded
in your hands.
instantly.
We don't have an animation or much feedback at the moment, but you can start to see the basic stuff formulating there. So I can actually, to give you an example, to swap the item in my hand and to reload it is a lot easier to do than previously.
That's cool.
So here in front of my avatar here, you can see 3 sets of boots,
degradation,
each with varying states. So the ones right in front of me here are actually in excellent condition. The ones that are damaged, and the ones on the left are destroyed. So your item damage has a significant impact on how your player actually functions. And so we'll take a look at how that looks.
This is DayZ, it just goes straight to rot.
So if I hover over these items, I can see these are very poor, these are destroyed, and these are
a lot of boots everywhere.
So if I run around and these destroyed boots now,
can you imagine seeing a player and deciding to rob him just because you notice he has like really nice boots on?
Now if you're walking around and you get shot
more player killing
in the legs or in the chest or something like that, the items actually get damaged based on where you're shot. So I'm actually wearing a ballistic vest. We've tried to add in some military stuff, but you can see this one here is much more like a you'd find from
into the environment.
Obviously a press reporter or something like that. So
Covering the
if I got shot in
apocalypse.
the chest, that's actually going to take some damage before the other items get damaged. But if I wasn't wearing that, anything inside my jacket will then get damaged. So these things, I think, are going to have a big impact on the kill-on-sight mentality and things like that. And I think item degradation, not just with the boots, but with all items and clothing, actually will come to have a very significant impact, even on things like your weapon, opening cans of beans with can openers, and things like that.
Does any of it just wear down over time?
So now what I'm going to demonstrate is something I talked about at Gamescom about, which is what we've got
I think it does wear over time.
So here I've got a player who's in a surrendered position. The player can get out of this. They can activate this themselves by pushing a gesture key or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set up now my quick bar.
The keys are
so
separate like items. That's really cool.
Items in my inventory. So if I now press 3, you can see down there that I actually have handcuffs.
I'm going to handcuff somebody and like throw the keys in the ocean.
I can use that on
Go find them.
and actually handcuff them. So I'm going to select that. And I've got it enabled now for all messages to come through. So in the bottom left there, you'll see the message that the other player
Rocket
gets.
starts handcuffing you.
And
No, Rocket,
the message
no.
that the player themselves get is the
awesome.
one that's in the yellow one there. Oh, sorry, the yellow one's the one that I get. So you can see now that the player here has actually been subdued, and they are now handcuffed and they cannot move around.
He's got his
If
motion
they
blur
try
back
and
on.
move, what happens is that they're basically able to struggle. So you can see now that the player is starting to struggle to get out of their restraints.
That's
And
awesome.
Trust you
if
guys
I
again.
left the player there, they will eventually get out of their restraints. And this is quite a unique mechanic,
That
I
looks
guess,
really
because I think
good,
people
like-
can see what's going on, and
I love how
they
the shadow
tell you to
matches
stop.
it too.
So
Like
basically,
you can
just
tell
hold
from
down
the
a
shadow
key
that they're struggling.
and you start struggling. But
Yeah, that's
I'm
gonna be
going to put this player out of their misery, and I'm actually going to unlock handcuffs here. So you see, I reach forward, unlock the handcuffs, and the player is now free to move around. And I have the handcuffs and the keys back here as well.
I like the hand icon to show you which one of the inventory things is actually in your hand.
So
at
now
the moment.
I've given us a player that we can interact with here, and notice that she's wearing one of those ballistic vests that I had on before. So what I'm actually going to do is make sure that I have some ammunition, and then
This does
I'm
not end well
actually
for her.
going to I'm actually going to shoot that character.
Oh, that rifle
and
looks so
we're gonna
good.
See the degradation.
I'm hoping you don't have to go back into the menu just to reload every time,
You can
though,
see I'm
or like to
switching
put
the
a mag
magazines
into
here
a gun.
simply by pushing my hotkey
Joel,
button.
if you have
It's
mags in the
actually
quick bar, you can load them with
alternating
R.
Okay, that's good.
Magazine
I
types.
was going to say, it seems like a lot of work.
So now, if
Look at
I
those
shoot
sights.
this
Oh,
lovely
man.
lady in the chest, you can see that at the moment nothing happens except the press vest has got a little bit damaged. So this
That is
is something that's really, really, really useful for various player mechanics. Okay, so the player got a little bit hurt there, and you can see that the vest itself is
That's
now
cool.
starting to get completely.
It's like a 50
and utterly
BMG AR
destroyed.
there.
Now, if I bypass the vest and shoot directly in the arm, you can see now the player's also bleeding as well from the exact point that I shot at. And
He's called her an it.
this is because the ballistic vest got
DayZ
damaged,
has made
and
Rocket a
there
cold,
was some
cold man.
damage left over. So now I'm actually going to shoot the player, and you can see the shirt there is really starting to get
brutal.
badly damaged. So if I get right up here, and I can see in here, the shirt is in destroyed condition. And not only that, but the items that were on the shirt are actually destroyed. And I think that this is a really, really key aspect that we're actually adding, and the fact that we're able to do this is because we spent so much time redoing the inventory system to be this object-oriented system, and it allows us to add all sorts of attributes to value. So I really do think that this, combined with the restraint mechanic, is going to allow us to to at least make some inroads on that basic sort of shoot on sight mentality, because if you shoot a player, there's a real danger that you're actually going to destroy the items that they have on them. So now I want to just so that nobody says that I'm sexist, because I was shooting a female character before. Now I'm actually going to demonstrate on this guy who's kind of semi-militarified.
This guy is hardcore.
We're really spending a lot of time creating
Equally
different
heartless.
clothing items, and you can see
right?
some of the work that's been done here on this character who's wearing quite military style stuff.
The
So he's
amount
got
of
our
texture
placeholder
difference
Kevlar
between Arma 2
helmet,
and even Arma
he's got an
3 and
olive
DayZ
shirt
is
on,
just
he's got a
incredible.
military style vest that allows him to store items, and
The
he's got
straps are actually
good
modeled
old-fashioned
hanging off the
cargo
bottom
pants
there.
on. So normally if you shoot a player in the head, naturally you would expect him to die, but if I do a glancing hit with this,
He looked at him.
and hopefully
Don't do it, man.
so you'll see that he got hit. Ignore the blood splatters.
Where did
we
they
haven't
fall
tied
down?
that up
You
yet.
fall down when
But
you
you
get
see,
hit?
he's actually still okay.
Probably because of the headshot.
And if I shoot him again, he's not liking that.
His
and he's
eyes are
actually
bleeding,
taken
no.
some damage. So we can wait and he'll stand back up. So he's actually bleeding from the head now.
He's bleeding from his
And what I'm going to do is
eyes.
kind of just make it go all over. So the bullet actually went through his head there and has actually also damaged the tactical shirt, which is quite bad. And in fact, it's even damaged the destroyed the camo there. It might be a little bit overpowered for this demonstration here at the moment, but you can see where we're going with
like hit the head, like
that
the boots are all
and
injured
how
completely.
hopefully it will go some way to changing the kill on site mechanic.
You actually can shoot someone's
boots
not off.
Super overpowered. Awesome. So the first couple of hits actually destroyed the helmet, and it was the last hit went through the tactical shirt and the assault vest. So I need to play with the values quite a lot to get them working right. But you can see the basics of the concept now. So if I took those
it's like more dramatic.
On and I actually put on his assault vest here, you can see that even though it's on my character, it's really, really, really badly damaged.
That was some fast looting right there. I'm impressed.
To anybody. And if there were any items inside there,
anything
that
faster than 30 minutes is fast for you, Dave.
Well.
Shut up, y'all.
So we haven't.
Seriously, this game's
going to
ruin it for you,
while
Dave.
I'm kind of here is that we haven't actually got the cursor system.
I'm just gonna leave you behind.
Dyslexia's great information
Yeah, bro.
based
Or just shoot you
on
and
how
loot
we
you
can play
quicker.
with that. And we are committed to doing that, but it just hasn't
If I handcuff you first,
So
You won't
if
get
I,
that
again,
close.
to labour back that point,
I'm gonna lead you around handcuffed
if
the whole
I put
time,
that
Joel.
tactical shirt on by swapping it out, you can see that now my my shirt is actually destroyed. It looks kind of cool, actually. Yeah. The material files we've got, you'll notice they're a little bit stretched. They're only placeholder at the moment. We just really wanted to make sure that that we were really perfecting things with it. So I'm going to get my clothes back off this player here.
Can you leave people without their clothes? That would be kind of
because
awesome.
I don't like it.
yes, you can.
Yeah, so I think players
You
are
can
going to
also,
have a
Joel,
lot of
dress
fun
dead bodies
with,
in your own
these
clothes.
new
Just like pretend to be
systems
somebody
that we've
else.
created.
Like,
I know
oh,
we've had
I
a
got
lot
that
of
guy
fun
that tried to
making
kill
them,
you, and like you actually
and we're really
put your
excited
clothes
to
on that
see
guy.
That'd be
what
awesome.
impact it's going to have on
Yeah,
I
I'm
saved
totally
you from
part
that
of your
bandit,
guy.
new friend.
Yeah, part of your team, guy.
Yeah,
Don't
the
you
kill on
remember?
site mentality and those things like that. I think there's going to be a lot more instances where players will actually
gosh, there's so many
hold up
bodies
other
everywhere.
Players,
Rocket, what have you done?
Restraining them, and
It's a road of death.
something else that we received feedback on, a lot of little bits and pieces of feedback around, just about everything on the forums, on Reddit and things like that, is making some of the items much more interchangeable and usable. So you can see now, if I drag the bayonet on here, I can actually open the can of baked beans with the
That's
bayonet.
awesome.
It hasn't affected the item's condition straight away, but if I did that a lot, it will actually really start to affect it. And now you can see I can't eat those. I'm right-clicking.
Do I
here,
eat my
it doesn't
beans
work,
or save this
but
bayonet for
once they're open,
players?
I can actually eat some of them. So
It's nice that you don't have to have as much cans of beans
This is
to survive.
something
Yeah.
that we've been working on a lot, and we're very
'Cause that'll be
pleased
less
with
loot
about
too, which would
starting
be
to
nice.
slowly
You don't
just
have to, like,
increase the amount
it's
of
not like loot
interactions that
freaking
are
everywhere.
happening in the world, and making that much more interesting. So one area that I've talked about previously is the zombie AI. So as many people are aware, I've been working on this with some of our programmers for basically the last year, looking to see how we can get zombies to work better in DayZ. Basically, the conclusion that I came to was I made a proposal to entirely replace the way that we'd approach zombie AI completely. So that's going to replace the work that I've been undertaking on that for basically the last year. But I think we've gone as far as we could with the existing system, and we need a custom system designed from the ground up. Now, just to note that this does not affect the alpha release. It will be the system we have at the moment is probably good enough to kind of meet what we need to for the alpha release, or we could always just do the release without zombies. There's those two options if there's performance issues. But you never know, it might be in time for us to do our initial alpha. So the proposal that came up was that zombies will chase players and avoid collision. It's very simple. The existing system is designed for armor, which is where you have a soldier for running from point A to point B. And so the new system is actually very simple. The zombies will only pathfind for a short distance in front of them, and otherwise they'll avoid collision. We are going to take some of the systems that are already in place and sort of repurpose them for what we need. This is currently tasked with one of the new senior programmers who's joined the team from another project.
Disease rats, oh no.
Information about that later. and they're being overseen by the existing engineering programmers that we have who are the creators of the actual engine themselves. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about that more in a future.
You can see rounds in the magazine in the top.
The final thing I wanted to talk about was the famous network bubble. So essentially the idea of this is that at the moment in Armo, you receive all updates for everything that happens around you. So if someone opens a door in Kamenka and you're located over in Electra or something, you're going to receive all the updates. Now, this wasn't so much of a problem with the mod, but it's a great problem when we have about 100,000 items and say 5,000 zombies and 150 players on the map. So in order to make our alpha period worthwhile, we want to release with this network bubble, and it's the last task remaining before we do that.
I feel like he's trolling the people who are so impatient right now.
Like, co-founder and most senior programmer in the company. He's the guy with others who designed the engine, which has spawned Operation Flashpoint, all the armors, Virtual Battlespace, and now DayZ. So he's very pleased with the progress, and I will be regularly reporting on how the testing goes with that. But there's really not much to say at the moment. We haven't done any large-scale testing with it, but he's very happy with it and doesn't seem to think it's too big a task. So I'm looking forward to reporting on that soon. Well, that's all I've got for the DEVBLOG this week. Hopefully you've enjoyed the outline of the progress, and the DEVBLOG was a bit more focused than previous ones, and hopefully the sound was a bit better than last time as well. We're really happy with how things are progressing. We move into our new offices in central Prague next week, and a bunch of our new hires are all starting to turn up now, so it's very, very busy for us around here. There's still no set release date for the alpha. We're waiting on confirmation of performance that we believe the network bubble will give us. I really can't stress how critical this is. There's no point in us releasing the alpha unless we know the multiplayer performance is
it's a new design. It's like an anti-alcohol poster. It's like holding the Bible.
And as soon as that's in, we'll push the big red button, and lots of fun will happen. Thanks very much.
It sounds like there is a version.
They actually have a website now, DayZgame.com.
That's been up since July.
Really? I mean, I never. That's the first time I've heard about it.
I mean July 2012. It links to the Tumblr blog. It's not much on there.
Oh, okay. I guess he's never talked about it or said much of the link. So.
There's a reason for that. Yeah, it sounds like there's actually a network bubble already done, but it's just, the initial version, and they're still testing it. So
yeah, that's cool.
Did Jeremiah pass out? I
don't know. Maybe
he's like asleep on his keyboard. It must have been a terrible DEVBLOG.
Drooling.
So much drool.
Hopes his wife's asleep, so he's gone Splinter Cell on us.
All right, Jeremiah, in one sentence or less, because typing takes too long, what did you think of the blog? And while he's typing, Steve, what did you think?
It's cool. I'm excited for the game.
Yeah,
thanks, Steve.
Yeah. What do you want me to say? I love the rat. I can't wait to be the rat.
Yeah. When you die to zombies, you get to play for a half an hour as a plague rat.
Yeah,
just go back to Electro and find groups of players.
Yeah. So I would steal Jeremiah's and say the inventory is great, but
it definitely looks like it's finally going the direction that I was hoping to go, in the sense that there's going to be a lot less loot with ammo and stuff, so that people are pretty much just down to just one magazine. Like, that's it. I think that's going to be a huge game changer. Just so that people I'm going to shoot. Well, I have 10 bullets. That is it. You're
going to like this then, Joel. He followed up to that, what he said in the blog on Reddit like an hour or so ago, and he's already talked about before that, he loves the road as a reference, where it's basically weapons, like firearms, are for bandits, and they have to spend so much of their time hunting for ammo and stealing ammo just to keep their weapons half filled. Yeah. And if you're just a normal survivor, your gun's going to be a last stand, you're getting pinned in a corner, you pull it out to take out a bandit or something. For zombies and most player encounters, it's going to be melee weapons is what he wants.
Yeah, I am very interested to see how he's going to tackle zombies too, because if the zombies are crazy ridiculous, you're going to have to shoot. But if there's no ammo, I really don't see the melee being very fun in this game, working very well. as well as like something like Left 4 Dead. It's just I don't think it's going to be as fun mechanically as other games. So I think it's going to be. I think shooting guns will be a lot more fun in this game. But I'm curious to know how that's going to work. But yeah,
the melee is going to be key. He tweeted earlier today that they just got the new melee system, like just the framework functional in the game right now. So that's I guess exciting advancement, but man, there's still a lot of work to be done on that.
Yeah, because it's interesting because playing the Last of Us game, it's built so that you always feel like you're just about to run out of ammo, but they make it so you're always feeling like you're on that edge, but you always will get ammo. Or this game you don't, but it'll be interesting to see because more times than not, if you run out of ammo, you're like crap, I got to use my stupid knife again, and then you're dead, or depending on how so it'll be cool to see if he can solve the problem so it still feels fun when you have no ammo.
Right, exactly.
But it's nice to hear that the new zombies are going to be in the work. It's sad that it's probably not going to be for a very long time. If I was him, I would probably release the game with no zombies, and I would just release it with the brand new zombies.
Yeah, I can't decide which way would be better. Like, just take them out entirely, or
just because right now the zombies aren't
and...
really much of a threat, or we really don't do anything with the zombies now, anyways. So I would just say,
but they add that needed atmosphere though to the game. I mean,
yeah,
kind of. But the only atmosphere I think of is they're annoying. But I just think of it as like a computer bug. Like, oh, this is annoying. I don't want to go to the town because they're just gonna glitch. They're not like fun atmosphere for me. Because they don't like.
If you can stop the clipping, maybe that'll help.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. But
I don't know if there's no zombies, the temptation to just turn on you, cuff you, and steal your magazines. Die. So.
Yeah. But
hashtag honesty.
Yeah, I'm still very curious to see what the end game is going to be on this game. Just how you can. What is there going to be? What to do in the game? Like once you have a good weapon and you have food, then what do you do from there? Like if you're playing on your own, like what is there to do? If you're not like searching out other people to hunt, right? So let's say you're all geared out. What do? Just go around searching for more food. But if you already have like 3 cans of beans, that probably is going to last you like the next 3 playthroughs. Like unless you're playing for 8 hours each playthrough, then no. But if you play for like 3 hours here, you could play a whole week and a half and not need to get any more ammo or stuff. So
I think what I would hope for would be that eventually both vehicles and base and camp building become the end game, where you can actually personalize your survival experience and actually enjoy surviving beyond just I have X amount of like default tents that all look the same. Maybe you actually create a customized campsite or bunker that really is like personal to you, and then you want to like be careful and stay alive and protect it.
That's really the deal, is spinning your own story in the game, and that's what's so fun about it. It's not missions; it's you do what you want and you make it your own. Yeah,
I'm kind of a little bit different on that. Only the fact that there's so many servers out there that we have our own, but like. I think it'd be more cool if we built our own camp, knowing, let's say all the servers were somehow connected and this world was like 100 times bigger, and we actually our house was actually built in the same world as everyone else's. That would be really cool. But since we're on our own individual server with various different people that come on and off, jump in just to look for stuff, and then jump to another server, that's gonna for me. It's the base building isn't as cool. I think like having things to do or like finding out reasons to go rescue someone instead of just going, hey guys, you want to just go rescue people? Like it'd be cool if there was something in the game that was like, I don't know, you figure out something that says, I need to go here and let's see what's going on here. Like I think that would be awesome. Or I really think they need to build places that are kind of can act as like bars or something. That would be awesome. Like if there's just bars or little areas in the town that just feel like a kind of a town center that hey, I can go in there, it's going to be dangerous, kind of like thinking the cantina in Star Wars. Like, there's going to be bad guys in there, but if you go in there, you might be able to make a sweet trade with somebody. Like, that would be fun.
It's always back to the alcohol with you, Joel. That potion is just for you.
Yep. Turn it down, man. Turn it down.
Do you agree? Don't you think that would be really cool if there was areas that they're not dedicated as that? There's no security or anything or AI.
It gives you the tools to make it.
Yeah. But like, there's just an area that people like all kind of know of. Like, there's a little bar in each town. So if you go visit it, there's generally a place where people like want to try to trade, but it's gonna be like Han Solo versus Greedo type of situation.
Well, maybe an old warehouse full of containers that has like wooden stalls, like that are all rickety and run down, set up where people are trading stuff.
Yeah, something like that. That would be really cool.
As far as the server hopping goes, though, I think you might be kind of focusing on how things have been in the last 6 months or so. Originally last summer, when it was just the main hive, there wasn't nearly as much server hopping because the experience was going to be the same basically every time.
I'm not talking about server hopping, not like quick server hopping. I'm talking even just like, okay, I'm going to play today on this server. Tomorrow I'm going to play on a different server tomorrow, right?
Right.
Like, when we build our town, the same people are not going to be in that same server as yesterday. You know what I mean?
But that's where you're actually, I think, a little bit wrong, because we had a lot of regulars on the servers that we played on, especially what was that Seattle server where we had a campsite for like 3 months. I would see the same players, the same 20 to 30 players there multiple times a week. You kind of ended up with a home server, and that has changed since the mod kind of spread out and branched out. But I think we'll get back to that soon.
Yeah, maybe so. We shall see. For me, I'm more excited about raiding other people's wasted time of building a giant fortress. Can't wait to do that. I hope we really can raise them to the ground though and like burn them. That would be awesome.
Of course you do, Joel.
I want that option, just to like come back to our camp and be like, "Holy crap, it's on fire!" I think that'd be kind of cool. Like, oh my gosh, someone's been here. There just needs
we will make them pay.
There needs to be lots and lots of ways to do things, like being able to poison things. Like, I would love to see that happen, where you can like actually put poison into like food, or like, I don't know, you could put your own blood into like something, I don't know, whatever, to just cause like
so far we've covered poison, arson, and cannibalism. Is there anything else you want to see?
I think that covers it all, actually. It's a nice checklist.
Like, the one thing about even like the trying to handcuff people, I'm curious how people are actually going to agree to that, other than the fact that they just like want to see what happens, but I'm curious to know. It'd be interesting to see if there's a way you can make it so that's almost a forced way. If you get up close and knock someone out, should be able to like cuff them. Because
there's going to be stun weapons apparently. Yeah.
Because I was like, someone says, "Hey, do that." And I'm like, I either do that and I'm pretty just gonna die. But if they don't have any gear already, they're just probably just gonna run. They're not gonna care. So it'll be interesting to see what will come up with that.
That's the idea too. Is that they want to make some of the loot, like ammunition, be so rare that if you have anything, you'd be willing to be robbed just so that you stay alive with whatever you have left.
Yeah. I can't wait to see Dave get robbed after he's played like 16 hours of it. Like, I don't want to give up anything. I cannot wait to see that happen. Be like, guys, I just got robbed. Get on the DayZ right now. Hurry. Like, I'm in Starry Silver. Hurry! They're doing things to me.
They violated the sanctity of my loot.
And they'll be like 20 minutes later, but I still got my loot. Like, made it away without my morals or my conscience, but I got my loot.
It was a good day in DayZ.
Yeah.
All right, thanks guys. I think that's going to wrap it up for this casual conversation.
See you guys.
I will see you guys later on.
See ya.